All right, I am in Greensboro, North Carolina tonight. I'm going to be speaking at Winston-Salem for a Martin Luther King tribute. I'd like to say this, that I don't think that anything a man does, like I think athletes and entertainers going to talk to Trump is not a thing I would question. I never question like Steve is a good cat, and I've never known him to do something that I didn't believe was earnest for the most part. I never questioned his motives, but I certainly, most certainly, only question the motives of a man who I've seen. I've watched what Donald Trump does, and so have you. There's an old saying that says, never trust a naked man who offers you his shirt. If Donald Trump was so concerned about the plight of the black community, then instead of holding up athletes and entertainers, why didn't he take a moment and look at President Obama and go, this is who you should aspire to be. This is what you should be. Do you know how impactful that could have been if instead of the country, the United States of America, and a large part of it, denigrating a man who only did what they said he could do? Anybody can be president. He lived up to it, and instead of holding him up as an example for all of us to aspire to, you denigrated him. You didn't take the opportunity to build, you destroyed, because you don't want to see us in certain positions. It's ironic that Stephen A. Smith talks about how athletes could be instrumental and entertainers could be instrumental. Nobody can deny that. But let's be clear. Most of us who are athletes and entertainers became proficient at what we do to get out of the situations we were born into. I became good at what I did to get out of the situation I was raised in, to get out of a situation I saw no hope in, to get out of a situation to make my family's life better. Now, how am I, or anybody like me who worked hard to get out of a situation, in a position to tell you how to stay there? Athletes, entertainers, they have valuable voices, and I would not denigrate them. I'll say this. We, on the regular, have to have representatives who speak for us. Athletes often, and entertainers, we're the only group of people besides prostitutes that have to have people argue for our money. So we have to have people to speak for us. Representatives, lawyers, publicists, but we're supposed to speak for you? Black people in general, our community isn't a place. It isn't where we all live. It's an idea, like a church. It isn't a building, it's the people. Black people, don't, in my estimation, don't need provisions. We need vision. We need to be able to go anywhere we want to and believe that we're going to be able to stand on our own merit. And I think America, by a large degree, blew it when they said they denigrated this man instead of holding him up. Whether you agree with him or didn't agree with him, he's an amazing individual who should be an example for us to aspire to. I hope that my son doesn't tell jokes for a living or get on the radio for a living. I hope that my son and daughters elevate my position. I hope that they become greater than I could be. I hope that they use their intellect. We shouldn't live in a world, or we shouldn't believe that our community is where they told us we had to stay. Most of the communities we live in, we had to be there. And I find it disingenuous that we had to live in those areas. We had to live where they put us. We had to live across these tracks. We had to go to these schools. Most of the areas where they put us was where they wanted us to stay. So I find it hard for me to put myself in a position where I will tell somebody how to stay where somebody wanted me to. I don't think we need provision. I think we need vision. I think we need to understand we can go and do and be anything. Most of us will never be athletes or entertainers or rappers, but all of us can use our minds. And when you say, let these people come in and show you how to fix it, and you don't bring in a man who did it with his mind and his intellect and just studying it and working hard, then you're being disingenuous. You're being disingenuous. Never trust a naked man who offers you his shirt. We live where we have to live. Donald Trump in the 70s wouldn't rent to black people because he didn't want them to ruin their neighborhoods. We live where we had to live. We were the only place we can live was where we do. And now that man is going to be the one that helps you fix it when he's a part of a perpetuation of the problem. Never let a naked man offer you his shirt, and that's exactly how I see it. I don't question anybody's motives except that man's. Because if he truly, truly, truly cared about the plight of the black community, then why instead of holding up athletes, he didn't hold up an excellent scholar? Why didn't he hold up a man that should be inspiration to us? Hey, today is Martin Luther King Day. Ain't no athletes get no day like this. Ain't no jump shot ever changed the world as much as he did. And ain't no joke ever done it either. So if people care about, question their motives. We shouldn't just be pictures and slogans. If you really care, understand black people never needed provisions. We only needed vision.